Robby and I, we got married, and it was really apparent that we wanted a family. That was something that was really important to us. Lucky for us, it wasn't that difficult to get pregnant, and we were swimming along in the first, second trimester of pregnancy. Things were almost going too good. It really was such a happy time in our lives. Just before my third trimester, I started to get weird, severe pain in my right shoulder. That ended up being referred pain from my liver, as I was experiencing the symptoms of something called HELLP syndrome, which is a severe form of preeclampsia. And that is what eventually led us to the premature birth of our son Oliver, who came at 28 weeks, weighing 2 pounds. Oliver was obviously whisked off to the NICU. My body wasn't in great shape, and so I had to be attended to as well. And that began our first NICU stay, which lasted 66 days. You know, as hard as the NICU is, we had some really special moments. There I was in the NICU, just simply holding my baby skin to skin for hours on end. It can feel like there's no good news when you're in the NICU as you leave your baby to go home every night. But for me, that was priceless, and I'm so grateful that I had that time with him there.
We were really fortunate with Ollie. He did really, really well. It was a long time, 66 days. You hear about much longer. Felt like an eternity for us, and we would come to learn later that we had basically a cakewalk. In retrospect, what we thought was the worst thing ever actually turned out to be quite a pleasant NICU experience,
yeah.
All things considered.
Our second son came at 25 weeks. I was in the hospital for about 5-6 days before he came, and Leo was born weighing under a pound at 450 grams, which is right about 15 ounces. Those days were long and really challenging. You know, when you can't hold your baby and you can't connect with your baby in the way that most mothers do, you hang on to things like, did you see how great he was kicking his legs today? He's so, so great. We were making great progress. In fact, I remember one of our best days with Leo in the NICU was on Robby's birthday. And he just looked so alert and so great. And we thought that things had finally turned our way and that things were looking up. And then a few days later, unfortunately, his chest cavity had filled with liquid, which had caused an infection, and his teeny tiny body just wasn't able to fight off that infection. So he died as a result of his prematurity and from complications from that prematurity. I remember saying to Robby at one point, we're gonna be those parents. We're gonna be parents who lost a child and join a club that you never hope you have to join as a parent. And that was the end of Leo's life. So Leo passed away, and it was awful. It was really, really awful. When you lose a baby to prematurity, you feel very helpless in many ways. And I really wanted to do something in his honor. And I really wanted to participate in an organization that would help families who might find themselves in a similar situation to ours. So the March of Dimes was such a good fit for me in that regard. It helped me grieve. It helped me put action to something that I had firsthand experienced and knew was so important. Our family is a perfect example of why we're so grateful for an organization like March of Dimes, and why we also know that that organization needs to thrive and move forward, because there's more work to be done.
It's so important that organizations like the March of Dimes exist so that other families that are going through these things are able to experience the joy that can come with being able to make it through a difficult pregnancy, or get the support that they need when they're in the NICU or they're dealing with complications with childbirth. The March of Dimes exists to support those parents and to further the research, making it so that people don't have to suffer and don't have to feel some of those dark feelings that we felt. It's so important to support the March of Dimes so that other families can experience the joys that we've been so fortunate to be able to experience ourselves.
To work with an organization like March of Dimes, who helps people build families, helps people have successful pregnancies, and build the families that they dream of is really incredible, and I just can't think of anything more important.